Hey, everybody. It's Allie. Let me make sure I'm actually live this time. Let me get over to my comments section. Okay, great. Somebody let me know if you can hear me. Strega said, drum roll. Absolutely. Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday. Hump day. I'm so glad to see you guys here. Okay, your comments are coming in. Okay, so Darlene starting us off strong. She said, "Hey, Allie, hope you're having a good week." Yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm feeling a little bit yucky today. I don't know if it's like allergies or what, but like I got my little tissues and my nose is just giving me a fit. So anyway, that was more information that you asked for, and that's how we do it here. Would love another video about your scuba diving adventures with your dad, and pictures would be great. Yeah, so I am currently working on this. So all the pictures that we have from that time period, they are all like actual physical pictures, right? Because that was back in the day. So, but I did talk to my dad, and he lives in another state, and he said that he was going to try to find the stack of pictures. I gave him a couple of spots to look in. So yes, Darlene, that video is on the way, pending cooperation from my father. So, but I'm so glad that you enjoyed the other video. Who we got in the house? Shelly is in the house. Hello. Greetings from the land of enchantment. Hey, Lady Alex. I'm so glad that you're here. Here's Strega with the drum roll. Yeah. I just couldn't wait to hang out with you guys. So I was a couple minutes early. I hope that's okay. I hope you don't mind. I like to wing it here. And that's what I do. Mary Beth says, "Hey, Allie, hello. DJ's here. Hello." Okay, great. All right, don't forget, if you guys have questions, right, or something that you want me to comment on, right, you see my little banner dude, QQQ, or a bunch of question marks. That way it'll stand out to me because we've got people joining left and right. So I know that it's gonna fill up fast. Yay, Shelly and GLP1 Journey in Review saying we can hear you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Okay. Scroll up. Kimberly, hey everyone. She can hear me just fine. Okay, great. Lady Alex says, "There's never TMI in my world. Bring it on." You know, I feel like being on a GLP-1 has really brought that out for everyone, right? Like, I love when we see the posts in the support groups and people are like, "I'm so sorry, TMI, but I've been constipated for 3 days." I'm like, 3 days, honey, you got nothing. You stop it. That's not even TMI. You just being silly. We all constipated, okay? Anyway. Diane says hello, and Jess says hello. Oh, good evening. Sorry. Good evening. Hey, I got a super chat. GLP-1 Journey in Review. Thank you. I appreciate your honesty and humor. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And by the way, we do have some super chat goals for tonight because I have received multiple requests to do special membership and membership only material. So I've been looking at my schedule and it looks like it's something I'm going to be able to do. So GLP-1 Journey and Reviews already got the ball rolling. Thank you so much. Yeah, Debbie. Hello, everyone. Mary Beth's like, so dramatic. Yeah, we love the dramatics. Roberta, hello. Too funny. Okay. This is gonna be the Lady Alex and Mary Beth show. Moi. I want you to know that I lasted all of 2 days in French. Right, moi. When I was in school. I lasted for 2 days before I was like, no, Okay, never mind. Spanish is for me. French just sounds beautiful, but Spanish, that's for me. Hey, my bitter chickies here. Hello, everyone. Just mush. Oh my God, I finally made it to a live. Listen, we've been waiting for you this whole time. I don't know where you were before, but we're glad that you're here now. All right, everybody's checking in. All right, we got Margaret from Florida. Love that. Used to live in Florida. Loving the Florida. Or the Floridaho, as I like to say. Don't ask me how I made that up. I started that when I was a kid. Tammy's like, hello. Debbie says, hello. Kimberly says, howdy from Oregon. Love the Shanannary, live Shanannary. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oregon. I don't know that we've had anybody from Oregon. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, bringing it in. Jennifer! Thank you so much for your support. Okay, supporting your channel. Thanks for all you do. All the laughs while driving. Good. Be safe while driving. Fellow drivers think I'm cray-cray. Well, that's because you are cray-cray. Jennifer, I've seen you driving around. I didn't want to tell you, but you're out of control and you should probably amp it up. I'm just letting you know. Thank you so much, Jennifer. All right. Mary Beth says New Mexico rules. All right. Okay. Don't forget, if you guys have questions or if you have anything you want me to comment on, right? You see the little banner? Just let me know because we got a lot going on in the world today of GLP. It's crazy out there. Hey, Penny. Thank you for joining. Here we go. Jess says, yes. Finally, membership only chat. It sounds like a party I'd like to go to. Sign me up. Yes. Yeah. So I haven't planned everything out yet because I like to wing it, but we are going to have some awesome membership stuff for you guys. There will be exclusive giveaways. There will be one-on-one support sessions. There will be, of course, the usual shenanigans, right? So there will be exclusive videos, things that you'll only be able to access through membership. So I'm hoping it'll keep you guys entertained. I think it will. And I'm excited about it. I've got some ideas for some stuff that I think will be a lot of fun. So... Ellie Bell. Hi, everyone. This is my first live. Hey, well, we're so glad that you're here. Lady Alex, moi is the only French word I know. Well, the only phrase that I know is voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And the only reason why I know that one is because it's in a really awesome song. Strega. Bitter chicky. Okay, good. Just mush. I love the names that you guys have. Strega! I love it. Ooh, here's a good one. Anita says, is anyone else in jammies? So technically, yes, Anita. I went to Goodwill this week because shopping addiction. And I got this shirt and I got some leggings that I cut into shorts because that's how I roll. And so, yes, technically, yeah, I'm in jammies. Actually, if you saw some of my jammies, you would be like, Allie, I didn't know you rocked a muumuu. And I would say to you, you mean you don't? I thought everybody did that. Hola from Blanche in Newport Beach, California. All right. I've lived in Florida 25 years. Now I live in Pittsburgh. That's right. Too much rain in Oregon, Lady Alex says. Uh-oh, people chiming in. Yep, jammy day. You know, You can never have too many jammies. I would say that a good 40% of my clothing is jammies. Harvey says, "Hi, love the earrings. Thank you so much." Thank you. I have a whole bunch in a whole bunch of different colors. So I've just been kind of collecting them. Pat Shine saying hello from Indiana. Oh my goodness. Look at my bitter chickie. You're killing it this week, lady. Dropping truth bombs. Yes, I've had quite a few wild videos this week, and I've got a few more coming out for you. So make sure you tune in for Friday's videos because I've just been dropping them left and right. And like we've got so much going on, like the stuff with Mochi and the stuff with, the lawsuits and the Eli Lilly and it's getting wild. It's getting wild. You know who else is wild? Mary Beth, who's in her pajamas. Thank you, bitter chickie. Love you, girl. Okay. Hey, Joni's in the house. Hello. Yay. Oh, do we got a question? Just mush. Any more thoughts on extra skin removal? Well, that depends. I've been doing a lot of research. So, if you're referring to thoughts on my own potential skin removal, yeah, I've been doing a ton of research. I've been researching breast reduction and how to get it covered by insurance, and then of course, all the other things. And it's, there's a lot to it. And one thing that I learned this week that was completely new for me that I didn't know anything about was there is like a whole marketing system that has been marketed to the bariatric community for many, many years to assist them. You basically pay this third-party company to assist you with your insurance to get your skin removal covered. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that existed until I heard about it and a whole bunch of drama over on TikTok. So yeah, so I'm still kind of in the research phase, but I think that it's something that I'll start doing some potential consultations for, which of course I'll take you guys along for that ride. Once I reach goal weight, which who knows what that'll be. But I have noticed from the skin removal groups, all the different ones that I'm in, that many, many, many of the plastic surgeons require you to be both at a healthy BMI, right? Because we're still using BMI because we're in the Stone Age. And also to have maintained that goal weight for up to 6 months before you actually have your surgery. So yeah, so I've got some time, but still learning, but I do plan on making some more videos about that kind of as I go and learn more, because there is so much to it. There's so much to it. My bitter chickie, she's right on. Don't forget to smash that like button, especially if you enjoy the Shanannary. I got my zero Dr. Pepper in here because I needed the caffeine badly. I had a horrible headache earlier. And this is my new, just added to my collection. My mother-in-law got this for me for Easter, which I thought that was so sweet. And she got me the little thing at the bottom. Anyway, it's from Hobby Lobby. If anybody thinks it's cute, they come in all sorts of different colors. So anyway, I shall be fully caffeinated. Okay. Full of grays. We got everybody here. Okay. DJ said week number 8 just started 5 units of Tirzepatides. No loss, but giving myself grace. Okay, great. DJ, you're going to have to let me know what milligrams that is for your 5 units of tirzepatides. Because remember, units is just a measure of volume, how much you pull up, right, into the syringe, but that doesn't tell me your dosage, right, in milligrams. So yeah, so let me know. But week 8, it sounds like you're doing good. And remember, for anybody who's new or in the first 3 months of their GLP-1 journey, it can take a few months to really start seeing the effects. It all just depends on your body and how your body reacts to the medication. So don't get frustrated. Just stick with it. Okay, good. Everybody's talking about their PJs. Da, 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 da. Full of grays. What are your thoughts on downsized news? Yeah, I was just over there in their live, leaving silly comments because that's what I like to do. I like to make them smile. Tell us how you really feel about Lily. So I can tell you how I really feel about everybody, if you would like. So let's start off with the downsized news. If you haven't, please go watch their live video that they just did. I'm not sure if it's still going on. Don't leave, but make sure you watch the replay because they were actually named in evidence for the Eli Lilly lawsuit against Mochi. So Christopher and Lorraine, they did an interview with Myra, who is the head of Mochi, and it was quoted quite a few times in the evidence. I actually saw it, right? Obviously, you could tell from the title of their live. And the moment that they put it up, I was immediately messaging Christopher. I was like, oh my gosh, are you guys okay? Are you getting sued? Is there citizens? What's happening? So I had to check on them because I think that they are phenomenal people. So of course they were like, yes, we're okay. So yes, I did tune in to their live where they were talking about everything that happened. So as far as how do I feel about Lily, about them, going after these various telehealth companies, I think it's par for the course, right? I mean, we knew this was coming. It does not surprise me that they are going after Mochi hard. In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, take it for what it's worth. I think that, Mochi kind of painted a target on their back and they were like, nini, nini, boo, boo, right? And then Eli Lilly was like, okay, you getting too big for your britches. You getting too big. You too big. So now we gonna attack you, right? And I don't think Mochi's stupid, right? I think they knew that it was coming. It's not like it came out of left field, but it was really interesting for me to hear, right? Christopher does a phenomenal job of breaking down the 54-page document, right, of what all is entailed in the Mochi lawsuit. So I won't go into that, but I do encourage you to go watch his video that he posted on the downsized earlier today, where he talks about, everything that was mentioned, but there were quite a few things that were mentioned that I wasn't aware of. For example, that Mochi had changed their dosing and what they offer 5 times in the last year. That was really interesting to me because I was not aware of that. I know that they had changed their dosing. I think I had counted 2 times, but then apparently they changed it 5 times and I was like, wow, okay. I mean, that's a lot. As far as Eli Lilly calling them out for not a direct quote, but I think in the lawsuit it was saying something along the lines of, you were funneling patients to compound based off of your own business needs, right? Profit to make money rather than, assessing each patient to see could they go name brand, right? Because that is an option that they offer, is to do your PA and to do all that. They just, said, oh, well, you're just funneling them all to compound. And specifically to that point, if I was to speak to Eli Lilly, I would say, duh. All of the compounding pharmacies / telehealth companies are doing that. Like, really? R- uh, so, yeah. I mean, they stretch some things, right? Because they're trying to hit them from every angle possible other than just straight up patent, right? Because that is kind of where the telehealth companies have focused and fine-tuned. They're like, oh yeah, if they try to sue us for patent infringement, we're ready to go, right? So I think Eli Lilly has kind of like, they're like, oh, okay, you think you're going to outsmart us? Great. Well, we're going to go after you for your advertising practices. We're going to go after you for, not being transparent with patients. We're going to go after you for funneling them to compound, right? So, yeah, that's what I think in a nutshell. Full of grays. You'll have to let me know if there's anything else specifically you want to know. It's interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see if they get these 4 telehealth companies kind of shut down while the trial goes on. That's going to be interesting. I'm waiting to see if they get a hearing on that, because that's going to be painful for a lot of patients. Okay. Jennifer says, as of this morning, 7-pound to goal weight. Great. Total weight loss, 65 pounds. That is freaking phenomenal. I feel I'm ahead of the curve because of all your very useful info. Great. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I have been pushing really hard, especially in the support group, to funnel all of my new people to my newbies playlist, because it's like every time there's a question posted, I'm like, I have a video on that can help you. So, but Jennifer, I'm so glad that my videos have helped you, and you're doing fantastic. I love that. Mineral Lady, sorry I'm late. Unacceptable. But we love you and we're glad you're here. Lady Alex says jeans from Goodwill are great and cheap. Yes, they are. I think all of my jeans have come. Well, no, there were a couple that I got off of Poshmark, but for the most part, thrift stores. Okay. Ooh, we got a question. Margaret says, I'm about to start 5 milligrams Zepbound. Any suggestions? Yes, I'm in bed and jammies. So, I really loved 5 milligrams. I am hopeful that someday, maybe in the land of alley maintenance, I could get back to 5, because it was really fantastic. And I know that there were a lot of people, especially when I was researching, moving up to 5, a lot of people were really scared about going up. And I just found that it was really just kind of the same, right? So whatever kind of symptoms I had starting out on 2.5, which was fatigue, the first 2 to 3 days after shot day, and some slight headaches, a little bit of nausea, right? I found that those things happened again with 5, and I stayed on 2.5 for 13 weeks. So, if you are someone who is concerned about side effects, talk to your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. And also, aside from that, the longer you stay on a dose, the easier I have found the transition to be. So, yeah. So, Margaret, I wouldn't worry about it at all. The other thing you can do is if you're concerned about your side effects when you're titrating up is you can take your shot at night before you go to bed or try to time it in such a way. Like for me, when I take my injection, I feel it within an hour. So if you're one of those people, then take your injection at night, right? Because then you're sleeping through a lot of the side effects. But yeah, I loved 5. I thought it was fantastic. Naturalista20 says, "Hi, Allie." Well, hello there. Please explain why on the TDEE you said to use sedentary instead of, say, light exercise if you are exercising. Great question. Okay, so we got a 2-parter here, so let's take the first part. First and foremost, the various TDEE calculators that you can use to calculate your calorie deficit, excuse me, deficit, they are not 100% accurate. However, the one that I recommend, which is the tdeecalculator.net, that one is the most accurate that I've seen unless you start adding in exercise. And this is where, when I was doing my research, I found that many of these websites, that's where they started to really have a lot of variation as far as how many calories they were accounting for in exercise. And so what I like to do is give people kind of a baseline when they're looking at their calorie deficit to say, okay, if you were going to do absolutely nothing, this would be your baseline with a calorie deficit, right? And it gives you a couple of options. You don't have to do like 500, subtract 500 per day, right? If you go on the cutting tab, you can kind of tweak it based off of what works best for you. So I like for people to kind of start off with that baseline of knowledge. And then if you want to make adjustments from there, for example, if you are getting into some form of cardio, like roller skating, or, you're going to get on your Peloton, or you're going to, do some brisk walking for an hour, right? Then you can kind of account for that on your own rather than just some kind of blanketed light exercise, moderate exercise. It doesn't tell you what is moderate exercise. What is that? What does that curtail? What does that include? Is that walking? Is that not walking? Does walking qualify as light exercise? At what point do the calories make sense based off of the exercise? Now, with some of these trackers, like MyFitnessPal and things like that, they do a little bit more where you can put in specifically the exercise you're doing. But again, they're not 100% accurate. And I see so many people that get frustrated with their calorie deficit because they're putting in, oh, well, I'm doing, intense workouts. I'm working out an hour a day, right? And then it's calculating and it's skewing their numbers. So they think they have all these calories, right, to eat back. And then really it's just screwing up their results. And they don't know and they get frustrated. So that's why I like to start people out with just a baseline, right? And then if you want to make adjustments from there, you can. So for example, for myself, if I am super ambitious and I'm going to get out there and walk the dogs, I'm going to get on my Peloton, and then later at night, I'm going to do some roller skating. Okay, well, I have clearly done way more exercise than I normally would have, so I can then account for that with calories. So I think it's just challenging for people because this is not something we were taught to do, right? We weren't taught how to eat healthy. We weren't taught about portion control. We weren't taught about, how to calculate calories and how to, factor in all of these different variables. And I think that the really general advice that people give can be problematic. So that's why I give the advice that I give, because that's what worked for me. Do you think it would make a big difference with weight loss? It just depends on the person. So for me, if I try to throw in those calories, right, on a TDEE calculator, it puts me and my calories too high, and then I don't lose weight that week. But it depends on you, and it depends on what you're doing. And it also depends on your calorie deficit. So it's very individualized. But that's a phenomenal question. Anita says, Shanannary and jammies, we rock. Yes, we do. Yes, we do indeed. Okay. Talking about the jammies. Okay. Lady Alex says I would get some skin removal, but too expensive, tummy tuck, and some from under my arms. Yeah. So specifically what I'm working towards, and I talk about this in my my skin removal video, I'm working towards getting all of the kind of problematic things documented by my doctor. So for example, to use Lady Alex's example, so when it comes to skin under the arms, right? So I complained to my doctor about the skin under my arms and how it affects me while I'm working out, while I'm lifting weights, while I'm doing daily tasks and activities, while I'm sleeping, right? So what you're doing is you're kind of laying down that framework to then be able to go to insurance and say, hey, these are the problems that my patient has been having. Here's where it's been documented for the last 6 months to a year. This is medically necessary. Therefore, you should cover it. Now, excuse me, the one thing I will say about the tummy tuck is if you're just talking skin removal, it is possible to get insurance companies to cover that depending on, right, if you meet the requirements for the amount of skin. The tummy tuck part, which is specific to repairing the muscles, which I 1,000,000% from the research I've done recommend that everybody do. If you can't afford to do the tummy tuck at the same time, then just wait. Do it all at the same time. So the tummy tuck is actually the muscle repair. And I have seen that there are some insurance companies that will cover it, specifically if you are talking to your doctor about challenges when it comes to exercising, working out, right? Because they want to see that, yes, it's interrupting your daily life, it's problematic, but also it's hindering you from staying healthy. So that's kind of where you have to get your doctor to get on board with documenting everything. And I just had a really candid conversation with my doctor. I was like, hey, doc, I need you to write all of this down. I need you to bust out the laptop and I need you to talk about all of these things in your notes. We're going to go over this every time. And they were like, okay, okay. All right, let's get started. Right. So yeah, you just got to be straightforward with them, and assuming that you have a good doctor, then you'll want to, just be straightforward about it and saying, "Hey, I need this documented so that insurance will cover." And hopefully, right, they'll do as you request. Sips. Oh, I love your tumbler. Where can I purchase it? Hobby Lobby. This was separate, the little boot. But yeah, I got it for Easter. And it came from Habe Alabe. 56 amazing peeps here. Yeah, we're up to 81. You guys were doing great. Right. Dun, 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 dun. We'll go to Hobby Lobby. Okay, good. Yeah. Na, 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 na. What is everybody saying? Going up to 5. Yeah. I'm telling you, I loved 5. I stayed on 5 for a really long time. Janet's here. Hey, Janet. Glad you could make it. Ooh. Diane says, how do we sign up for the membership? I can't find the button. Diane, I'm so sorry that you are being so proactive. I love you, but I haven't like set it up to go live yet. I'm so sorry, but I promise you that it will be live. I probably won't get to it tonight because, right, we're doing the live, we're having fun. But at least by the end of this weekend, I'm going to get it up and running. I'm going to try to get a hold of like some little super chat icons and get some stuff in there for you guys. So yeah, but I love that you're being so proactive. I promise I'll let you guys know once it's up and live and we start having all sorts of shenanigans. Okay. Just mush. By the way, thanks for the MyFitnessPal referral. So helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anita says all the major pharmas are in it for the money. How obtuse of them. Yeah. I think that, you know, we're kind of in new territory here, right? Because GLP-1s just hit the market so hard. I mean, they have essentially been in shortage in some form or fashion since they hit the market. And I think that there was a lot that Big Pharma just wasn't ready for. I think that they've learned their lessons as far as, you know, things going into shortage, which is why you hear a lot of people talking about how, what is it? I hate the name of it. It's Oforglipron, the pill that they come out with. They've already started stocking up, right? So that it doesn't go into shortage. I call it oogly boogly prawn because these names are just redonkulous in my opinion. So yeah, I think they're learning kind of as they go because medications of all kinds have been, you know, extremely popular, extremely helpful, you know, obviously helped people with all sorts of conditions, but we're in a whole new world, as Ariel would say, when it comes to GLP-1s. And I think that as time goes on, they will do better and better and better. Not only will the peptides get better, the combinations will get better, the prices will get better, right? So it's just going to take time. Unfortunately, it's just going to take time. And unfortunately, for many of us, we don't have time for them to figure it out, right? Because our insurance is not covering it. And that's really challenging for people. Okay, Lady Alex says it's business as usual for Big Pharma. Nothing new as profit rules. The system must change. Don't hold your breath. Yeah. So I think the system will change. I'm excited to hear kind of the updates from Dave at On the Pen, right? He is up in Washington this week. And I'm hoping that, you know, we can get some kind of traction on our movement of getting everyone access, because you guys know my opinion is I think everyone should have access. So scrolling down. Oh, we got a question. Jennifer says, have you heard of the Fractal Health DMR procedure? Okay. Jennifer, remind me, is that the one with the balloon? Remind me which one that is. I've heard of a few procedures that are coming up that are they're a procedure, but they're not necessarily a surgery in the sense that, right, we're not doing like a gastric bypass where we're, taking out part of the stomach or something. So remind me which one that is, because I've heard of quite a few procedures. The only thing that I will say, and this is just my opinion, me personally, I think that for people who don't do well on GLP-1 meds, right? For whatever reason, they have allergic reactions, their body, can't handle it. They have, extreme side effects. Whatever the case may be, they can't do it long term. I think that procedures like this one and others that I've heard of are going to be kind of the saving grace for those individuals who need help with the treatment of their obesity or comorbidities, right? And so I think it's a great option, but I think that there will always be a place for GLP-1s. Um, Hey, Lavender Cat, love your lives. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are just awesome today. Thank you. Let's all take some sippies. Also, I just want you to know that if there was such a thing as a lavender cat, I would own it. I used to have a lavender Pomeranian. And yes, they do really look purple. And even their noses are purple. It's a dilution of chocolate. Random facts with Allie. But Lavender Cat, thank you so much. Okay. Oh, we got another question. All right. Pat Shine. Food noise appearing before a week might show us it's time to titrate up. But are there any symptoms that might tell us that after doing that, it was a bad decision and we should go back? Okay. So this one can be really challenging, right? Because it's based off of the individual's experience. So I know that for some people, when they are on a specific dose and they've been on it for a while, they find that the food noise starts creeping back in. And this is something that happened to me multiple times because I stay on each dose as long as I possibly can. So sometimes people will move up and have extreme side effects that are problematic for them. For example, there are some people who will go up in dose and they may have been perfectly fine on their last dose, but when they go up in dose, all of a sudden it's like uncontrollable, explosive, horrible, demonic diarrhea, right, for weeks on end. So I can't explain that. I don't know why that happens to some people, but in those instances, right, where they're having extreme side effects and their quality of life is just suffering, then yes, absolutely, you should 100% talk to your doctor about going back down in dose. And many times, as the dog's running, many times those people will have continued success on that lower dose. So, hi, were you guys playing? Okay. But that was a great question. All right, let me scroll down here, see if we can get caught up. Oh, here we go. Okay, Mineral Lady has a question. Sushi, do you have a question? You do? You don't need a GLP-1. You're already a skinny mini. Yeah. Yeah. You need to go drink your water? Okay, go drink your water. She's over there. What's happening? I can still see you. Go drink your water. Drink your water. You're a good girl. Okay. Okay. Let's get to Mineral Lady's question. I have a question. I can track how many calories of homemade food meals that I eat in a day, okay? But how can I track food meals when I'm traveling, especially when I eat in a restaurant? Great question. So this is one of the reasons why I really love MyFitnessPal, because many, many times if you are going to, especially if it's like a chain restaurant, then you can get either pretty close to what you're ordering, or they may straight up have it. Like straight from the Olive Garden menu, straight into MyFitnessPal. It's got the calorie breakdown and everything. So that's one reason why I like them. There are many other, options for tracking that do the same thing. But for the sake of this question, let's pretend like you're traveling overseas and, that restaurant is obviously not listed. What would you do? So I would try to pick something that's very similar. And this is one of the reasons why very, very early on in my GLP-1 journey, I made it a point to have kind of like some staple things that I eat when I go out. So, for example, I will choose something that's like grilled chicken, a vegetable, a salad, right? So, for many people, that sounds incredibly boring, but it's very, very easy to track that. And then I'm very careful about things like butter on the bread, or butter on the vegetables, or too much ranch on my salad, which I am constantly guilty of, right? So that's kind of where I utilize the tracking. Now, if you were going somewhere, for example, to another country, and you wanted to have a really fancy shindig type of meal, then I would just do the best that I can, right? I would try to over calculate, but also keep in mind that when you're traveling, at least for me, when it comes to visiting family or going on vacation, I have a tendency to be more active, right? Because you're going to visit museums, you're going to the zoo, you're going to space if you're Katy Perry, right? Like you're doing these things, and they are things that you wouldn't normally be doing. You're getting in a lot more movement. So that can kind of help offset. The other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you enjoy yourself, right? So if you're on vacation for a week or even two and you're doing the best that you can, there is nothing wrong with that. And what I will do when I'm traveling is I will make a point to set a goal for myself. For example, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do the best I can with tracking, but I am really going to focus on this protein goal. So, I'm going to make sure that I'm ordering the protein, right? And that will help you. The other thing you can do is say, I'm going to set myself a fiber goal, right? And hit that. I'm going to set myself a water goal, right? Give yourself something to work towards, and it can be really helpful when you're on vacation. So, Mineral Lady, I hope that helps you. I have found that having that kind of goal-oriented mindset when it comes to tracking and food and going on vacation has really helped me to keep my cravings in check, keep my calories in check, and also keep me out of a binge type mindset where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about XYZ food and now I have to eat it all, right? Slow down, enjoy your food, chew it, talk to the people that you're with, right? If you're going on vacation or you're traveling, look at the places, right? If there's beautiful scenery, pause while you're eating and enjoy the scenery. All of these things kind of remove that power that the food has, at least over me. I'll speak for myself. And it can really make your meals a lot more enjoyable. And also, it can make it easier for you when you're traveling. Okay. The Everybody's talking about calories. Here we go. So Anita was saying, I'm getting close to my goal weight. Woohoo! And doctor wants to keep me on Manjaro 5 milligram for maintenance because of diabetes. Yes. So this brings up a really good point that I wanted to mention tonight. So Anita, thank you so much for bringing this up. There was somebody who posted in one of the diabetic only support groups, which I'm not usually a huge fan of those groups because they have a tendency to give substandard advice, in my opinion. But there was somebody who posted who said that their doctor was forcing them to come down a lot in dosage because their A1C had gotten to 4.5. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this tonight, and I want to make a video about it because it is common that doctors, when treating you for type 2 diabetes, will be concerned about your A1C going too low. And I'll get more in depth about why that's problematic in a video. But I just want to mention that, especially for people who are doing, keto, carnivore, low carb, variations thereof, you definitely want to make sure that you are getting your labs done regularly and that your A1C is not going too low, which is anything below 4.0. So, but Anita, you just reminded me of that. So thank you so much. Okay. Oh, just mush. Extra skin and sleeping. I just explained to a skinny friend, it's like sleeping in jeans 2 sizes too big and getting twisted up in your jeans, except you can't take the jeans off. That is an incredible analogy. And thank you, Just Mush, because I plan on stealing that and using it to describe it to my doctor. That is phenomenal. And that it's very true. It's very, very true. Jess has a question. I've been asking around to get thoughts. Okay, I have lots of thoughts. Have you heard any feedback on NAD, okay, use and GLP-1s? Yes. Yeah. I've heard it may give you energy and help combat fatigue. Yes. So here is one of the things that I will say about these various peptides that are on the market. One, you need to be very, very sure that your sourcing is good, right? Whichever way you choose to go with it, you need to make sure that your sourcing is good, that you're seeing some sort of, testing or certificate of analysis, and you need to make sure, right, that somebody is doing right by you. There are a lot of compounding pharmacies that are offering this now. It tends to be ridiculously priced, but to each their own. But yes, I have heard good things about NAD as far as giving you energy, combating fatigue, and many, many other aspects for NAD. I personally have not tried it, so I can't speak to how well it works. But some of the other peptides that are available on the market, for example, AOD, you need to be very educated about the studies that were done on the various peptides. What do I mean? If you go back and look at the studies on AOD, which was the original anti-obesity drug, right? AOD. If you go back and look at the studies, it shows that essentially, and this is just paraphrasing from the study, essentially it didn't work for 50% of people. That's why it didn't become as popular as GLP-1s, which works for most people, right? So you kind of have to take these things with a grain of salt. You may find that something like NAD works really well for you, and you might recommend it to your friend, Sally Jew Shosh Kebab, and it doesn't work at all for her. So you got to read up, you got to look at the studies, and you got to see, is this something that you're willing to try out, and how much does it cost you, right? Because something like this is not something that insurance is going to cover, but many people tout that they have great success and that it helps them. So just something to keep in mind. But Jess, phenomenal question. That was a good one. Oh, we got another one. Okay. What is the name of the organization that held with skin removal funding or question? That held with skin removal funding? Are you talking about the organization that I was talking about earlier that's having all the drama over on TikTok with the bariatric community? Because if that's what you're talking about that I made reference to earlier, Pop Recovery? Don't quote me on that. Is it Pop Recovery? I've been seeing it all over my TikTok. Anyway, don't quote me on that because I haven't looked into it, but there are multiple companies that do that. So I hope that at least points you in the right direction. But they have had a lot of drama lately, so I'm not making a recommendation. I'm just saying I think that's the name of it. Okay. Mary Beth says, have had to do the same with my provider so I can do Rybelsus due to finances of self-pay. Yeah. I hear you. There's a lot of people that are going that route now that compounding is going away. And if they get a stay order, they being Eli Lilly, if they have a hearing and get a stay order and make these compounding telehealth companies cease and desist and stop, right, while the trial is going on, that's going to affect a lot of people very quickly. So let's see. Where are my questions? Oh my goodness. Do we have an Australian in the house? What? That is phenomenal. Okay, here we go. I'm having surgery in a few weeks, so I'm trying to put myself into maintenance so my body can work on healing. It worries me though because I've only ever gained or lost. Yeah, so it can be really challenging. And I will just speak from a place of putting myself into a self-induced stall, which if you don't know what I'm referring to, I have videos on that. I did it because I got some bad lab work and all of the research that I had done pointed me toward, hey, stop losing weight, give your body a chance to recover, do XYZ. So definitely check that video out. But yeah, it's a matter of increasing your calories, right? So that you stop losing weight. And I think that after a week or two, right? You said you're in surgery in a few weeks. After a week or two, if you are on a dose that works really well for you, you may find that maintenance is kind of smooth sailing. So for me, the dose that I was on, I was able to increase my calories, stop losing weight, do the self-induced stall, and my suppression wasn't so high that I couldn't eat, right? And I gave myself some flexibility. So on days that the suppression was high, right after injection, right? And then later on in the week, I would make sure that I would consume more calories. So there's a lot of flexibility there. And hopefully you'll find kind of the means that works for you. But yeah, going and doing something like the TDEE calculator and seeing what your maintenance calories would look like can be very helpful. Oogly boogly. I don't know. What is this in reference to? Jaina, was it something I said? Was it something you guys were talking about? I don't know, but I love it. Hey, Judy. Happy Shanannary. How are you? Where is sweet Kevin? Yeah, he kind of popped in for a minute here earlier. I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm having some allergies, so like my nose is just like meh. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for joining and asking how I am. I appreciate you. Anita says, does oogly boogly count as shenanigans? I think it does. Take a drink. I agree. I can use some caffeine. I can use some caffeine. Got another question. Hey, Angel's here. Hey there. I'm late. You're fired. Fired. I'm just kidding. What do you think about the response email from Mochi? Sorry if you already brought it up. Oh, was there a response email from Mochi? Did they finally take me off their email? Oh, hey. Da, da, da. Angel, you're awesome. Okay, let's look at this together because it just came through at 7:28 Central Time, which was 30 minutes after we started our shindig, which was about 30 minutes ago. Angel is on top of it. Our response to Lily's legal action. Don't worry, I'm not going to read you the whole thing. We are reaching out to address the recent news, blah, blah, blah. We aren't going to let this lawsuit interfere with our mission to provide access to affordable evidence-based obesity care. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you for trusting us. Blah, blah, blah. If you have questions, we're here to help. Contact our support line and sit on hold for 2 hours. I'm sorry. That was mean. That was mean. Sometimes it's only an hour and a half. Yeah, so this is more of the same from Mochi. So this doesn't surprise me at all. This stance of we aren't going to let this lawsuit interfere with our mission jargon, that's the same thing they've said about everything, right? So again, it's not like they didn't see this coming. It's not like they were shocked. Oh no, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to be the big fish in the pond, everybody's going to try to catch you, right? That was supposed to be me casting and then reeling it in, but I went like this, which is more like drummer boy. Like, I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick, you guys. Because I'm all over the place. So yeah, I've got some videos coming out about Mochi that are set to hit Friday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And as a matter of fact, I might just go ahead and release it tomorrow because I know there will be a lot of people that are interested in my take on things since I used to be an affiliate. But yeah, honestly, that's just more of the same. It doesn't surprise me at all. I think that they will continue to say that same exact line up until the day they get shut down. Because what else can you do, right? What else can you do? I'm sure that they are just in a constant state of damage control at this point. Between what happened with Akita, Chiquita Banana Pharmacy, right? And then the voluntary recalls, and then losing licenses in multiple states, and now this lawsuit, right? Like, but great question. Okay. Hey, John. Mochi just released a statement via email. Enjoy your live. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with me. John, thanks for being awesome. Yeah, apparently that it just went out while I was live. So you're getting my live reaction to Mochi Shanannary. Take a sip. Jennifer, right on point. Make sure you hit that like button. If you don't know, you may have to exit the live or minimize the chat in order to be able to hit the like button. We got 91 awesome peeps in this live so far, so we should have 91 likes. We'll go for 90 likes just in case there's one person who doesn't like me. But we will find you. Oh, 95 people. Woo! Oh, Jennifer. Okay, they burn off the lining of the duodenal part of the stomach intestine. Okay, I think that if I remember correctly, please don't quote me on this, I think that was the main key component in regulation or production of GLP-1. I want to say it's regulation of GLP-1. Again, don't quote me because I've looked at a couple of different procedures. So I apologize if I don't get it 100% right. I got accepted into the research. What? And I'm having the procedure done next month. Holy crap-oly. Jennifer, you gotta let us know how it goes. You gotta let us know how it goes. If you're up for it, completely optional. If you don't feel comfortable, then don't worry about it. But if you want to shoot me an email, I would love to kind of keep up with this and see how things are going. Get you on the show, do an interview. I don't know what kind of rules they have in place for you guys, but just on a side note, I would love to keep up with you to know, how this goes, because that is freaking phenomenal. And I'm super excited for you. That's awesome. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be an off ramp for people who've met their goal with GLP-1 medication. Okay. Interesting. I'm very excited. Jennifer, I'm going to research this and we're going to talk more about it, okay? That is phenomenal. Oh, she's got more comments. I have to figure out something because I'm not going to be able to keep affording this medicine for maintenance. Yeah, I completely understand. Gaining the weight back would be absolutely devastating. I agree. I agree. So early on into my journey, I lost my job and I had never experienced that kind of panic to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to gain all this weight back. I mean, devastating doesn't even begin to cover it. So I 1,000,000% understand what you're saying on that one. Oh, here we go. It's done with an endoscope. It's a quick outpatient procedure, and then you go back to your daily life the next day, other than a clear liquid diet for the first 2 days after the procedure. Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to take one for the team. Yes, Team Shanannary, and works well for maintenance. I hope so. I hope so. Jennifer, you got to keep us posted, or at least keep me posted, because I want to make sure that you're okay. That's phenomenal. Okay, let me go back one. Okay, Carrie says, I've been on 2.5 since October. Nice. And I've noticed increased appetite, thinking it may be time to go up to 5. If I get side effects, can I just use the click dose method to go back down? Okay, Carrie, you're going to have to let me know which country you're in, because saying the click dose method, if I remember correctly, that is specific to countries that have the quick pen, which we don't have in the US. So Carrie, let me know. And as far as using this method, I wouldn't be able to give you any advice on that because I've never utilized a quick pen. So, but in essence, right, if you went up in dose and had bad side effects, you could talk to your doctor about going down. So, yeah, it's definitely an option. But let me know, Carrie, let me know where you are. Okay. Gina said, hi, Sushi. She's a good girl. Everybody's wishing Jennifer the best. Jennifer, my husband asked me if I grow another arm, and I told him, I think, just how much more productive I'll be. Yes, absolutely. As long as it's a functional arm, right? Because if you end up with just an arm, but it doesn't do anything, then it would just kind of be in the way. These are the things that I think about. But yeah, Jennifer, you're not going to grow an arm. You're going to be fine. Okay. Gina says, my A1C came down to 5.1. Excellent. Everybody's like, way to go, Gina. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. DJ says, does anyone know how this helps men? My son struggles in the middle tummy area and works out a lot. So, DJ, you're going to have to let me know, are you talking about GLP1s? Because it works the exact same way. Or are you referring to the surgery, or I'm sorry, the procedure that Jennifer was just talking about? If you're talking about GLP1s, works the exact same way for men. And we have many, many awesome dudes in the Positive Only support group, link in the description box below. So you were saying that your son struggles. If he's getting on a GLP-1, then, he could come and have some awesome dudes to talk to and watch their success and what they do. We get updated pictures, and we have some really phenomenal guys in our group. Just love them. Okay. Thanks for the explanation, Allie. That's my middle name, Explanation. Hey, here we go. What do you think of research grade GLP-1s? Barbie Rebel. Bringing in the Shanannary. Let's talk about research grade, shall we? Barbie, thank you for bringing that up here. Unfortunately, for my Facebook group, it's not something that we can discuss in the Facebook group. So I super appreciate you bringing it up here, because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to research grade. And I have been doing extensive extensive research grade research. Research grade research. That sounded silly, but you know what I'm trying to say. Looking into research grade. Because there's such a wide variety of what's available on the market. So there's, research grade that's been extensively tested, that is essentially pharmaceutical grade and is top notch. There is research grade that is, other GLP1 creators like to refer to as a bathtub tirzepatide, right? Where you don't know what's in it, you don't know where it's coming from. It's kind of, shady. It's a company that just popped up out of nowhere and they're trying to capitalize on stuff, and it may not even have the right ingredient, or they fake their certificate of authentication, right? Their COAs. So there's that. Then you've got the whole gray market thing where you're getting stuff straight from other countries. It's a lot. It's a lot. So what do I think about research grade? I think that the majority of people that I see doing research grade, specifically over on TikTok, which is where I see a lot of new people getting into research grade, they do a lot of stuff that they did not research. I saw a lady earlier this afternoon that posted, and she was like, oh, I went from compound to research grade, and she had this little contraption for storing all of her stuff. She had pre-filled a bunch of her syringes, and this container was not going into her refrigerator. It was just sitting on the counter. She had pre-filled, it had to have been like 10 or 15 syringes with stuff that should have been refrigerated. I watched her reconstituting video where she didn't do that correctly. And here she was making a video telling other people how to reconstitute. Very scary stuff. And then it just gets worse from there. So I know people who have used the research grade, pharmaceutical grade, right? And they've had good results, right? They'll send it off for their own testing. I mean, there are people who run that risk, who do that. It's just a matter of what you're comfortable with. I think that for your average Joe, and I mean this with all sincerity, for your average Joe who can't even get their compounding dosage correctly when it's written on a prescription, for that type of individual, research grade is problematic. It's going to be too much for them. They're not going to do the research. They're going to attempt to have people spoon feed it to them, and they will hurt themselves. It's just a matter of time before it happens. Some of the stuff that I see over on TikTok is like, so, the number of people that I see just posting in support groups that can't handle compounding, drawing up from a vial, understanding their dosage. If you add many more layers on top of that, I don't know if they'll be able to do it correctly. It just depends on their commitment to doing it correctly, right? I mean, there are people who post every single day that are like, I forgot to take the cap off my pen. I forgot that I took my medication this morning, and so I took it again, and now I've double dosed myself, and am I going to end up in the hospital, right? Like, these things happen all the time, multiple times a day. So for those people, being pushed to research grade is a scary prospect. And I don't mean that to be offensive to them. I mean it from a place in my heart where, some people just need to know their limitations. If you can't remember that today was shot day and you took a shot this morning, you should not be reconstituting your own peptides. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't think that is a safe option for some people. And there's Bear. Boop. Everybody's always like, where's Bear? So Barbie Rebel, if there's something else that you want to know about research grade, definitely feel free to ask. Because like I said, when I started out, we can't talk about it in the Facebook group. Unfortunately, even with people, using code words and phrases, Facebook groups are still getting shut down because there are people who are recommending going to either research grade or the gray market. And right, it gets the support group shut down. So I hate to see it for people, but even the peptide groups, I'm in a whole bunch of those, which is a lot of fun too. Talk about people giving medical advice that should not give medical advice. Woo! Some of these admins. It is the wild, wild west out there. You think it's bad in GLP1 support groups? Just go join yourself a little research group. You've either got people hitting you up, trying to get you to buy stuff off Facebook. You've got admins acting like they're doctors. Like, some of them are rough. Some of them are rough. But I find all of it very interesting. So. Okay. I traveled for work for the first time this year and didn't have a ton of food choices because they fed us. I brought some high protein snacks. Good job. Awesome. When I could and still managed to lose weight. Great. See, you got this. It's all about doing the best you can. And see, if you were in a situation where work was providing you food and there weren't a whole lot of options to choose from, then that's when you can get creative, right? So let's say every meal is super carb heavy, and me as a type 2 diabetic, right? That's not really conducive to, me staying on track. I could, take all the stuff out of the sandwich and kind of eat it without the bread. I could do the high protein snacks. I could, if there's options that are like a buffet, right, styles thing, then you can really amp up your protein to keep you fuller longer, right? So, and don't be afraid if you've got some kind of work function to let whoever's in charge know, hey, I have dietary requirements, give me my protein, right? Because if you were a vegetarian or a vegan or a carnivore or whatever, right, they would, if you had allergies, right, they would accommodate you. And many times, if you go to whomever is in charge of your work function, you can get a lot of what you need simply by speaking up. So I just want to throw that out too. But this is excellent. You did great. Okay. Cherie! Do you think when starting maintenance is a good idea to increase calories 50 to 100 calories every 2 weeks until I'm not gaining or losing weight? Is it a good plan? The diet after the diet. So for me personally, I wouldn't mess around with 50 calories at a time. I don't know that that's really going to give you perspective in a week. What I would do, me personally, is I would go anywhere from 100 to 300 depending on what your calorie deficit is. So for example, if you're using the TDEE calculator.net to calculate your caloric deficit and you're using a 500 calorie a day deficit, then technically speaking, if you look at your maintenance, right, maintenance calories on that tab, which is different from cutting, right, which is losing weight, then you should be adding back that 500 calories a day. And you can do that very safely, right? I know there's a lot of people who panic about this, but you can do it very safely by just prioritizing protein for those extra calories. What do I mean? High protein snacks. Just recently, I've been giving the, Egg Life wraps a try, right? Where it's like the egg white wrap. And then, you put some cheese on there, you put some turkey on there, you heat it up, you throw some pickled jalapenos on there. It's like my thing right now. It's my favorite thing. And you have a relatively low calorie, protein packed snack, or even incorporate it into a meal option, right? That can help you reach that calorie goal. But like 50 calories additional a day, it's not going to show you results in 2 weeks. You'll have to do a little bit more than that. But yeah, whatever you're doing for your deficit, then go back, look at what your maintenance would be, right? For where you are or where you want to be within reason, and then try to manage those calories from there. We got 123 people in the live tonight. Woohoo! Awesome. But great question. Okay, here we go. Clara says, have you found probiotics or prebiotics helpful with digestive issues due to being on a GLP-1? So, no. Here's the thing with probiotics and prebiotics and space biotics and unicorn biotics. They are all good for your gut, right? It's good for you. It may or may not help with any sort of digestive issue that you're having. If you are having a specific digestive issue, you would likely see better results by addressing that issue specifically. For example, if you ate too much and now you feel like you got this huge brick in your stomach and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do this to myself? And you're having stomach pain and nausea, right? Then you would be much better off utilizing a digestive enzyme. Let me put it on this side so you can still see my face. Hey, Vogue. So digestive enzyme is going to provide you so much more relief a lot faster, right? Prebiotics, probiotics, whether you're taking a supplement or you're getting natural prebiotics and probiotics, blueberries, okay? Whether you're going natural or you're taking a supplement, you do that to help yourself over time. That's not to help you with an immediate digestive issue. And I see more and more and more supplement companies that are like, here you go, get your magnesium and your vitamin D and your all this and your prebiotic and probiotic. We're just going to put it all together. We're going to package it all together and $70. You need this if you're on a GLP-1, right? No, stop it. Do not do that. So, Clara, if you're having a specific digestive issue, if you feel comfortable telling me, again, I ain't a doctor and I don't play one on TV, then I can give you some more specific, right, remedies that may help you with those digestive issues. Sulfur burps, digestive enzymes. These are linked in the description box below. Get them on Amazon. They're super cheap.
They work great. I never leave home without them. So ate too much, digestive enzymes. You ate something that's not agreeing with you, digestive enzymes. You ate too much sugar, digestive enzymes. You ate something fried and now you're starting to feel nauseated, like, oh no, this is going to be bad, digestive enzymes. You ate too late in the evening and now you have that heavy, tight kind of stomach feeling, digestive enzymes. Sulfur burps. Are you getting what I'm putting down here? So this can help you with so many things. It's not going to fix the problem. So if you are consuming something that is causing you issues over and over and over again, which is what I see, unfortunately, with a lot of people who end up with sulfur burps, right? You're going to be caught in a cycle. So I hope that this helps you. Let me know if there's something specifically, a specific issue that you're having, because I'll give you all the advice I can. I'm not a doctor. I came for the Tirzepatide support, but I stayed for the Dragon Queen of Shanannary. Yes. Take a drink. Eve, you are awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was all that was left of my energy. But I also need that embroidered on a pillow. Dragon Queen of Shanannary. I love it. I love it. Look, I've even got my little Cyrax here with me. She keeps me company while I work. For anybody wondering, this is one of those, what is it? Funko ornaments. That's why she's got the little thing on her head. Okay, we'll put her back so she can keep me company at work, but I love this. Dun, 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 dun. Where are my questions? Uh-oh, what happened? Somebody got called a weirdo? What's going on? We're proud to be weirdos. Yes. Yes, we are. Ooh, this is really good. Darlene says, regarding skin surgery, document rashes. Get the cream for it, yes, or the powder. Both of those. And have them document. Yes, absolutely. I, again, have this documented every time I go to the doctor. So. Lady Alex said, many compounding pharmacies have already stopped compounding GLP-1s. Yes. So we've reached the deadline for Tirzepatide. I believe that was yesterday, right? The 22nd. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. So, yeah. Yeah. And semaglutide is, right around the corner. Okay. Proudly claim the weirdo tip, mostly because of his insatiable obsession with Kevin. Kevin's the best. Hey, I was just talking about awesome guys that we have in our group, and look who showed up, as if he was summoned by my words. Mark, so glad you are here. Thank you for joining. Okay. Mark, you have to let us know if you're in your pajamas, because we are all hanging out in our pajamas. Okay, Janet says, have you ever of anyone coming off the shots for 2 weeks for stomach issues? My doctor stopped me for 2 weeks. For stomach issues, it depends on what the issues are. So, I have seen people, right, that are taken off for a few weeks, specifically regarding challenges that could be related to pancreatitis. And then, right, they get their levels back down, they're good, and then their doctor will restart them. So it just depends on what you mean by stomach issues. But yes, I have heard of people doing this for various reasons. It really just depends what the issues are. Kiki 5000 says, help, 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 helpity help. Is there one single company that we can still trust to get some compounds from? Have yet to use them, but I'm scared and need to get them as I'm running out. Yeah, so I think that I think this is hard to answer, right? Because let's just be honest. The last time I recommended a telehealth company, it went completely sideways. So I don't want to put that kind of karma out there for anybody. So if you guys have suggestions for Kiki, please put it in the comments. Kiki, if you are looking to do like a side-by-side comparison, I have been steering people towards GLP1winner.com. And that is a website that was created to kind of keep track of who's doing what in the telehealth arena, and it can give you a lot of different options. They keep up with it, so people, telehealth companies will drop off right when they're no longer providing tirzepatide or semaglutide, or right. So yeah, so if you guys have some suggestions for Kiki, please drop it in the comments below so that we can help them out. It's it's just one of those things, right? We just have to do the best that we can. Sue says, good evening. Hello. Thank you for joining. Okay. Kimberly says, I feel you with allergy issues. Yeah, it's like everything is blooming. My nose is just like, such a bad allergy attack on Monday. I thought I had COVID. It was miserable. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's definitely not fun. Shaz says, any advice on battling MJ fatigue? Just titrated to 7.5 and it's doing me in. Thank you. Yeah, so the fatigue can really be challenging. It can really be challenging. I did not find anything that worked for me. So I just spent, Friday is my shot day, and then I just spent the entire weekend in the bed. The longer you're on a dose, right, the easier it gets. But when you titrate up, like it just kind of comes back. There are people, not myself, but there are people who have said, like we were talking about earlier, that NAD, right? Which is available through a lot of compounding pharmacies right now, is a great option for treating fatigue. Again, I have not tried it, so I can't speak on that, but maybe some people in the comments who have can speak on it. For me, I just have to power through, right? I just get under my heated blanket and make sure I get in, my protein, and I stay hydrated and just do the best that I can. There wasn't really anything that worked for me. And obesity specialists and endocrinologists say that the reason why we have this fatigue is because the medication is activating our pancreas. And I always thought that was interesting. Activate pancreas. Okay. Clearly. Sips. Hey, Melissa. Chasing sunshine. Do, 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 do. Hey, April's here. Hello. First live with you. April, I am so glad that you're here. Because we were waiting for you. I just said in the last live, I was like, I really hope that April can make it tonight. So I'm glad that you're here. Okay. Oh, do we have a question? Cosmic Beauty 888. Who would like you? I think it's supposed to be, I think it was who wouldn't like you. Because I said earlier, there might be one person here who doesn't like me. Jazzy, hello everyone. Purple hearts. Hey Jazzy, I'm so glad that you're here. Hey, we got a whole bunch of people that are joining in. Or they did join in. I'm just catching up on comments. Wouldn't. She fixed it. Let me go back. I need to know how to pronounce this. Lila? Is it Lila? I hope so, because I love it. It's fantastic. Okay. Ooh, we got a question. Okay. I know you're not in maintenance, but I have been on MJ for 11 months. For some reason, since being on maintenance, I've developed insomnia. Okay. This happens. Any idea why now on maintenance? So as far as the why goes, I don't know. I know that this does happen to some people, and it can happen to them at any time. Let me just clarify that. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the maintenance phase. Sometimes it helps to go down in dose, right? When you're doing maintenance. But a lot of it can really depend on, your maintenance and how it's working for you. So I know that it can be really challenging. It's definitely something you want to talk to your doctor about, right? Because insomnia can lead to a lot of other issues. So you don't want to leave it untreated. But Anita, you'll have to let me know, are you experiencing insomnia for like a few days after your injection? Are you spacing out your injections? Have you come down in dose? Give me some more details, and maybe I can offer you some suggestions. Okay. Annie Mac, Annie Mac. Okay. Today is my first day of maintenance, 90 pounds down. Rock star. Doctor's having me stay on my current dose. Okay. Said I could just add some calories to prevent more loss. Yes. That scares me, right? Even to toy with it at this point. Yeah. So just remember, there are quite a few things that can happen, and it is 1,000,000% completely normal for your body to fluctuate day to day and over the span of a week, right? It could be anywhere from 3 to even as much as 6 pounds. So for me personally, if I do a couple of days of high salt, if I do a day of high carb, if I am constipated, right? All of those things will compound on themselves. And then when you get on the scale, you're like, oh my gosh, I gained 5 pounds this week. No, you didn't. It's okay. Don't panic. But I completely understand we've all worked so hard to have this success, and then to go into maintenance, which is a completely different process, right? Now you're having to work to maintain what you've lost. It can be scary. It can be scary, but I would just say continue to remind yourself to give yourself grace, right? Especially when you're just starting out, right? This is your first day of maintenance, first day of school. It may take you a couple of weeks of trial and error to figure out what works best for you. And that's okay, right? In just a couple of weeks, you're not going to suddenly skyrocket in weight. So just keep in the back of your mind, you got this, right? You got us. We're here to support you. So just keep it in the back of your mind. You can do this. It's different than what you've been doing, but you've already built that foundation to continue making good choices. So you'll get there. There's a little bit of trial and error to start with, and then you'll be good to go. Downsized in the house. Hey girl, hey, hello. I was just in your live. Now you're in my live. People are going to think that we know each other. It was funny. Lorraine was saying in their live, she was like, well, there might be new people here and they may not know about us. Let's tell them about us. And I couldn't help myself. I think that she's adorable. And I was just like, hi, I'm new here. Who are you? I just couldn't help it. I just couldn't help it. I love you guys. You're fantastic. Look, my bitter chickie, she's like, we love downsized. Yes, we do. Everybody, we love downsized. Yes, absolutely. Okay, good. Carrie, she came back. Okay, Australia. Yes. And you use the Quick Pen. So, unfortunately, I've never used the Quick Pen. I know I'm familiar because of some of the UK followers that I have, and I'm also familiar with, some of the terminology. But yeah, I would definitely research. What was it? You called it the click method. Definitely research that and see if that's something that you can do. And of course, always talk to your doctor, right? I think you were talking about kind of going down in dose. I know those Quick Pens provide you guys with a lot of options. I really wish that it was an option here in the US. I think it would be good for people. Darlene has a question. What was the name of the surgical procedure? Oh, the one Jennifer was talking about? Go back. If I can get to it quickly, I'll tell you. I think it's far enough up that I'm not going to be able to see it. And we are quickly running out of time. I'm so sorry. If Jennifer's still here, maybe she can chime in and tell you what it was. I'm sorry, Darlene. I love you. Oh, just mush. Was waiting for you to get to the research grade. Yeah. I mean, so talking about research grade on platforms like YouTube or in a support group, it can be really challenging because A, you're going to get a lot of hate for it. B, there are going to be a lot of people that it will pop up in their feed because they're already into research grade. And then they want to tell you everything that you don't know about research grade. It can be really challenging. But I think that we're going to be seeing, we're already seeing a lot more people go that direction because they're losing access to compound. And I think that we're going to see more people do it. Honestly, in my opinion, I think we'd see more people going to the gray market, except the tariffs have kind of put a kink in that because now for gray market, right, China is no longer shipping over here. So I think that local US-based research grade, right, is kind of where people are headed. So, but yeah, it's tricky to talk about it because no matter what you say, you're going to make somebody upset. I mean, for Pete's sake, I went on compound so that I could have personal experience to help people on compound. And I lost like 200 subscribers that all were like posting all this terrible stuff. And they were like, we don't like you anymore, Allie. And I was like, okay. I bet you think the song is about you, don't you? Right? Like I was like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't make everybody happy. So it's just one of those things. Mary Beth, never pre-fill syringes, retired nurse. Yes. Mary Beth, what you should have said is never pre-fill syringes. You are a genius. Yes, because that's very true. Don't pre-fill your syringes. I tell people all the time, and I get so much backlash. Do not go to a med spa, a doctor's office, a whatever, and let them pre-fill your syringes. when I get some sort of shot, like the last time that I got really sick and they were going to give me, it was some kind of injection for the nausea, I asked them to bring it into the room and to draw up the shot in front of me, right? Like, I want to know, I want to see the vial that you're pulling from. I want to make sure, right? Human error, people make mistakes, nurses, doctors, medical assistants, they all have very stressful jobs, and I do not fault them. But I want to see it drawn up in front of me. I don't want somebody in a back room next to somebody else. You pick up the wrong thing, right? That's how that lady on TikTok, she was going in to get her hair bleached and she ended up coming out with crazy colored hair because the stylist next to her, right, grabbed the wrong bowl, right? I don't want that to happen to me when it comes to an injection. So no pre-filled syringes. Don't be lazy. I call it being lazy. Okay. Chasing Sunshine says, on the research peps, I saw a few on Facebook, yes, say they couldn't get out of bed and were so sick. Oh, you saw a few people. Yeah, they apparently were guessing on their dosage. Oh, it's not for amateurs. Yeah, Melissa, you're right. It's definitely not. And that makes me so sad for them. It really does. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want to see people who are rightfully desperate to hold on to their success unintentionally hurt themselves. That makes me so sad. And it makes me mad that we're even in this situation, right? It makes me mad. Why not spend some money to force these insurance companies to stop playing doctor? How about that? How about you as an insurance company are not allowed to deny a prior authorization without you, insurance company, providing the patient with a legitimate reason that they can back up? How about that? How about we change the rules that apply to insurance companies so that they can stop playing doctor and start working for the patient rather than the other way around? I'm paying you, insurance company. You work for me. I have watched, there are a couple of insurance people that I follow over on TikTok. And when I see them, going back and forth about prior authorizations and all these things that happen behind the scenes, it upsets me and makes my blood boil. I'm like, right? We're just denying PAs because it's a day that ends in Y, right? Like, what? I guess I should have done this arm because this is where the watch is, right? So, I think that's where the reform needs to come from. It needs to come from the PBMs, the insurance companies, right? We want big pharma to make big breakthroughs. I do not begrudge them the money that they make. It's a business. It costs billions of dollars. I salute you, right? I am not a researcher, like a for real chemist or something. And I realize that they do a lot of really great things that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise if they didn't have those patents. The problem is not with the medication and the price of the medication, because none of us would care that it's $1,500 for a month's dose of 4 pens, right? If you're in the US, none of us would care if it was covered by insurance and we were paying anywhere from $25 to $100 a month in copay. None of us would care. We'd be like, why is this covered? It's covered by insurance. Yeah, I got to pay $100 a month, but okay, all right. I mean, I could do that, right? that's where the problem is, in my opinion. I don't begrudge companies for wanting to make money, right? It's a business. But if things don't change, it's just going to be the same cycle over and over and over and over and over again. Bear is such a cutie patootie. Yeah, there he is. He's my old man. Now you can see him. He's very confused right now. Okay, so Bear, for those of you who may be new, is older than dirt. We think he's like 17, 18 at this point. We're not sure. He could be older. It is way past his bedtime. And that's why he's standing in here looking around, looking super confused. But he's a good boy, so it's okay, bud. We got like 5 more minutes and then you can go to bed, okay? I don't know why I'm talking to him. He can't hear me. Love him to pieces, though. I talk to him all day long as if he could hear me. He can't. Okay. All right, so we've hit our 5-minute mark. Gina said, drank. So I'm going to go through and make sure I hit all the questions. So if you have questions, if you were feeling nervous about asking questions before, now is the time. Okay. Digestive issues for my husband. Okay. He switched from Wegovy to Zep 2 weeks ago and started having burps and the runs. Okay. Yeah. So the runs, that's more challenging. One thing that helps me when that happens is to increase fiber, which again works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. And also the Imodium, it's like the new and improved Imodium. So not just regular Imodium. And I wish I remembered. It's like Imodium extra strength or something. Anyway, it has other components that like stop the cramping, stop all the thing that goes with the runs. So yeah, but burps, that can definitely be helped by digestive enzymes. So, and then the other thing is make sure that your husband is tracking what he's eating, because he may find that while doing the switch from Wegovy to Zepbound, right? Because Zepbound is essentially stronger. He may find that certain foods may be triggering a response. So, for example, I had challenges with certain types of proteins when I started out. He may be having a challenge with dairy, right? But if he's tracking, I know it doesn't sound fun, but if you track what you're eating and then when you're having the runs, right, you may be able to identify what sorts of things are causing the challenge. Okay. All right, let's go. Hey, AR Puff and Stuff. Just popping in to say amazing peeps in the group. Hey there. So Jess was saying, I don't use compound companies, but I've heard people say they like Join Fridays and Orderly. Yep. Dave Knapp from on the... Okay, so Roe specifically does not do compound. Their whole shtick is helping you get on name brand. So I don't think they have any options for compound. But yes, I have heard about Join Fridays and Orderly and IVIM, Henry Meds, right? You just gotta take a look and see what works for you as far as pricing goes. Okay. Hey, Rebecca's here. What is the lowest calorie goal you should eat on the first 2 to 3 days when you don't feel like eating? My TDEE is 1,500, and I do stay within that on days 4 through 7 mostly, but only 1,000 or so on 1 through 3. So it depends on how much suppression you're having. If you're just having suppression, but you're not having any additional side effects. For example, if you're not having nausea, right, fatigue, headaches, right, those type of things, if you're just having suppression, then whatever you feel comfortable with, as long as it's not below 1,000 calories. 1,000 calories is still very, very low. Then you can always work it in to make up for those calories during the week. So I know that for many people, tracking the daily rather than the weekly is a lot easier, right? And it keeps you on track throughout the week. But sometimes, especially if we're on a dose where in the first, 2 or 3 days, the suppression is very high, then you may find that you need to increase your calories later on in the week when the suppression is not so high. The other thing I will recommend, and one thing that really helped me, is switching out drinks that are with meals with a protein shake. What do I mean? So for many people, right, we're trying to get our water goal, we're getting our water in, right? And so with a meal, we would have whatever water. In those first 2 or 3 days, if you are finding it very challenging to meet your calorie goals, then instead of having that water with your meal, switch it out for a protein shake. Whatever protein shake you like, right? If you're looking for something that can help you with your side effects, I am a huge fan of the Biocare option. It's linked in the description box below. Strawberries and cream is my favorite flavor. They've got 2 protein options. The protein goes all the way up to 30 grams. And you could mix this with however much liquid you need. So if you want to do milk, if you want to do water, if you want to do, your cold brew coffee, whatever you want to do, this is a great option. It'll help you with your side effects. I know, sounds like a gimmick. It's not. I've tested it. It actually works. So add this, right, as the drink with your meal, and then you'll find that you're you'll find that it's much easier to meet that goal. And, right, you're getting that protein in, which is so important, especially to maintain your muscle mass. Great question, Rebecca. Okay. Oh, Just Mush said, have you tried clear protein drinks like Seek or Oath? I'm a huge fan of those, especially if you don't want something that's more like a milkshake, right? Like these guys. Those are a fantastic option. They're great to go with a meal. Mary Beth said, B12 in my compound doesn't really make a difference with fatigue. Correct. If you are not deficient in B12, it's not going to help you. It's not going to hurt you, right? But it's not going to help you. It's just a mechanism for them to add to the peptide of choice, right? Semaglutide or tirzepatide, right? So that it's not an exact copy. But there are a lot of people that say, oh, the B12, it'll help with your fatigue. No, not unless you're deficient in B12. And if you are going to your doctor and getting labs done, then you should have them check your B12 along with any other things. Okay. Rachie, would love if you were able to do a video or videos on your research of research grade peptides. Yes. Yeah, I plan to. It's just kind of a challenging topic because there are so many moving parts, and I've recorded videos multiple times. And then I go back and I watch them and I'm like, oh, I really don't want somebody to, take that information and run with it, right? Because there's a safety concern. So, but yes, I have been promising to make a video, and I definitely will. there's just so much that goes into it. And I don't want to make a video that's like an hour long, right? Because nobody will watch it. They'll watch part of it. People will watch the lives on the replay. By the way, if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit that like button. Okay. April, wait no more. I have arrived. And we're so glad that you're here. Okay. We got to get our questions in because we've reached the time limit. I shall be turning into a pumpkin shortly. Are there any fiber drinks, gummies that can help with my regularity? Okay, this is multi-part, so I'm going to go ahead and answer right up front. Don't do gummies. Okay? Don't do gummy vitamins. Don't do gummy supplements. Don't do gummy garbage. Gummy garbage. Gummies are candy. They should not, in my opinion, be utilized for supplements. So I had a really long talk with my doctor about this, and my doctor does not recommend any type of gummies because the process for getting those supplements into the gummy damages a lot of what you're trying to absorb. There's a reason why there are pills, and then they came out with the Flintstone vitamins, right? The chewable option for kids, right? When we were all kids. Hit that like button if you ever had a Flintstone vitamin, right? Were they not thebomb.com? I mean, they were. So don't do gummies. Now, as far as fiber drinks go, those are fine. Any variety that you like the flavor, you can go with that. For me, I personally am not a huge fan of fiber drinks. I like to get my fiber from food. And I have recommended it before if you are interested in getting your fiber goal for the day, if you're a woman, in a sandwich form. You can absolutely do that with the Carbonaut bread. Think astronaut, Carbonaut, right? That's how you spell it. I think I have it linked in the description box below, but that's just to show you what it is. It's really pricey if you get it through Amazon. See if you can get it at your local grocery store or specialty store. Yeah, it's got like 15 grams of soluble fiber per slice. So if you are a woman, you're shooting for 30 grams a day, you met your fiber goal. And then if you throw in other options, right? I got some bloobs right here. Those are blueberries, in case you didn't know. In this house, we call them bloobs. Because why not? So, yeah. Tried Bellway super fiber gummies and powder with no luck. Yeah. I don't have constipation. I just want to keep with my daily regularity. Yeah. As much fiber as you can get from food, that's the way to go. So for example, I had a Carbonaut sandwich earlier today. I had blueberries for snack. This is my second snack, 11Zs. So, and then, if you can get something else in with fiber, you're doing celery and peanut butter as a snack. You're getting in your veggies, dip it in ranch, right? As much fiber as you can get from natural sources is going to be good. Just be careful for anybody who's looking to increase their fiber that you don't do it too fast. Okay? Because that can cause you to have gas pain, right? We don't want to go that route. So if you want to get more fiber, awesome idea. Slowly increase your fiber. So, okay. Hey, Mimi's here. Happy Thursday morning from Australia. Mimi coming to us live from the future. My better chickie posting from the future. Yes. It's tomorrow already? Yes. Yes. Mimi, I'm so glad you're here. Okay. Okay, Maribeth says, my insomnia is usually with the fatigue on the first couple of days afterwards. So tired, I can't sleep. Yeah. So I would talk to your doctor about what might be a good option for you. Some people can utilize a low dose of melatonin. Again, you want to talk to your doctor. Some people, can do like a glass of milk around bedtime, and that helps. There are a lot. Just do a search for insomnia online. There's a lot of things that you can do. But if you find that you're really for real lacking sleep, then you definitely want to talk to your doctor about it. Sea Breeze. Hi, Allie. Hello. How you doing? What you doing? Okay. Okay. Ruby red slippers. Just click those babies together. It's time to go home. Okay. Allie, can you talk about muscle loss? Yes. Don't lose muscle. Okay. I'm just kidding. Ruby red slippers. I'm just messing with you. So, one of the challenges of being on a GLP-1 is that we have a tendency to not meet our calorie goals, right? We're in a deficit. We've got appetite suppression. We're thinking we're doing good. The weight's coming off. But in actuality, we're losing fat, but we're also losing a little bit of muscle. Now, some of that is par for the course. Doesn't matter how you lose weight. Chances are some of it is going to be muscle. For me specifically, it does not require my body to have the same amount of muscle to move me now at 170 pounds as it did to move me then at 285 pounds, right? So some muscle loss, regardless of your weight loss method, is going to happen. What you don't want to do is you don't want to let that spiral and get out of control. So how do we do that? Well, we've got to do some sort of resistance training, right? It's not enough to just do cardio. Cardio is going to get your heart rate up. It's going to get the blood pumping. It's very good, right? For people who do cardio, it's good for you, but it's not going to maintain or build muscle. So you got to do some sort of resistance training, whether it's resistance bands, right? There are plenty of YouTube videos, even if you are someone who may be challenged physically, right? You can still do resistance bands in a seated position or even a laying down position. You can utilize various weights to lift weight, right? So it's very important, because as we lose weight and lose some of our muscle mass, right, which is just going to happen, it can also bring your BMR down, right? Your basal metabolic rate, and your metabolism will also come down, right? Because that muscle is what's keeping our metabolism like fired up. And as we age, both men and women, right, it's very, very important both for our overall health, but also our bone health, to maintain the muscle mass. So, yeah, it's definitely something that you want to be aware of, and something. I'm so sorry. It's also something you don't want to choke on. This happened to me earlier when I was on the phone. Okay. It's something you want to keep in mind, and you want to be actively working on it. Okay. Thoughts on Zepbound and Phentermine? Phentermine. Is this like Phentermine? I shall consult the Googleage. Please hold. Phentermide? Okay. Phentermine. I'm wondering if you mean Phentermine. I'm thinking that's what you mean, because Phentermide is not pulling up. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something I was aware of. Okay, so assuming you mean Zepbound and Phentermine, I know that there are some people who don't experience appetite suppression until they reach the highest dose of either Zepbound, Tirzepatide, or Manjaro. So in many cases, their doctor will prescribe Phentermine with a GLP-1. Here's the thing about Phentermine. The studies that they did only lasted for 3 months. And so many doctors will not prescribe Phentermine for longer than 3 months. It just depends on your doctor, how much experience they have with it, and when they're comfortable with. So, but yes, there are many people who utilize the two together until the appetite suppression kind of kicks in with the Zepbound, right? They'll reach a certain dose and then they'll start to feel it. So, but I have seen people do that. You just got to talk to your doctor. AR puffin stuff. What on earth are you talking about? What is research grade? So we're talking about research grade peptides. Essentially, they are peptides that you can get without a prescription. That's the short version. They come in a wide variety. There are some that people use for building muscle. There are some people use for treating symptoms of their ADD. There are some that people use, right, that are GLP-1s. So I'll do a video on it so that there's more. It's too much to go into now. And we're already 16 minutes over in time. Okay, let me go. See, let me make sure that I didn't miss any questions. Oh, here we go. Has anyone tried Seek and One Up Nutrition Clear Protein Powder? Okay, so Seek, yes. It's not my favorite, but they do have a couple of good flavors. If you go check out my reviews videos, I have some reviews on a bunch of different clear protein options that are good. One Up Nutrition, I have not tried. Make sure that you read the reviews. There was a clear protein company out there that just started up, like, I want to say it was like 6 months ago, and it was getting really terrible reviews. I don't know if it was this one, so please, I'm not saying anything bad about them. Make sure you check the reviews. But if it's Oath or Seek, I have reviews on those, and they're fantastic. So definitely check those out. Okay. Allie, did you respond to my number 2 question about fiber? I think so. Repost it for me in case I missed it. I'm so sorry. Definitely, it's been a long day. Isopure clear protein. That's definitely a good option. Okay. Oh, Joni said, I have to get going. Have a good night. Good night. Yes, we are wrapping it up. Everybody, I'm just making sure that I didn't miss any questions. Da, da, da. You're very welcome, DJ. Let's see. Can you feel the dog staring at you? You're right. Yeah. Or are you talking about Bear? Or earlier with Sushi? Yeah. Sometimes I'll be working and my computer screens are this way, and I'll be working, and then I'm like I can just feel that there's somebody looking at me. You know how you feel like somebody's watching you? It'll be one of the dogs. They'll be sitting there looking at me like, can we go outside? No, Jess, you're the bestest. Thank you for sharing your beautiful brain with us again tonight. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. You guys are phenomenal. I genuinely love spending time with you guys. You are great. Heal Thy Spirit podcast. Did you change your name? Or do you just have a similar picture to someone else? You'll have to let me know. It's Tia. Catching the end. Emily looks like you shrunk since this morning's video. I did. No, it's just the angle of, and also the computer, but thank you. I am the incredible shrinking woman. I would like to start shrinking again. I've been in a stall for quite some time. So, yeah. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for spending your Wednesday night with me. I super appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, everyone who gave a super chat. Thank you so much for your support. I will be sure to keep you guys posted about the memberships that are going to be coming your way shortly. I'm very excited about the exclusive content options that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully you'll all join me because it's going to be like Shanannary times 10. Hey, here comes Kevin. Yeah. Okay, Kevin. Come here. Kevin, come here. You're a good boy. Come here. You want to say goodnight to the people? You're a good boy. Come here. Turn around. They can't see your face. They want to see your face. Okay. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. He's running. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, good. The picture just looked familiar. As I remember pictures. I used to work at a pet store where I would help people with their pets to pick out the best food option. And I worked my way up and became manager of that store, and I knew all of my customers by name. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we're definitely going to do this again. We're going to do it again. I think that I might start doing multiple lives during the week. Oh no, Kevin's upset now. She must have closed the door on him. Okay, I'm going to go so that you guys don't have to hear the shenanigans that's about to start. We're going to take everybody outside. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Don't forget, when you leave here, make sure you hit that like button. And as always, be kind. Even when the dogs are barking, rewind.